I certainly have to start with several thank yous. Our board, the Guild Literary Complexes board, is invaluable. I could not do this job without their support. So again, I would like to acknowledge each and every one of them. If I know you're here, so if you could please raise your hand or stand when I call your name. Of course, we have Mike Pewikin. So no one feels bad. Let's hold the applause until the end. Mike Pewikin, Vesna Neskow, Reginald Gibbons, Susanna Darwin, Rosellen Brown, Debbie Carlson, Andrea Change, Lou Rosenbaum, Garnett Kilberg Cohen. And I also have to acknowledge our staff. We took on 2 people last spring who have made my life so much better. Our marketing director, Andrea Pelosi, and our design director, Kathleen Nillis, who I believe is downstairs. Unfortunately, this is one of our last events with Kathleen and Andrea because they are graduate students who are graduating, which is always the right thing to do, and they're moving on to their postgraduate lives. But thank you to Andrea, Kathleen, and our wonderful board. They've all had a real impact on our programming, our marketing, and our fundraising. And if you want to know more about what they do, what they're up to, or you maybe want to join the ranks, please feel free. We have labels with little green dots to symbolize that we're with the Guild, so if you want to know more, please talk to one of us. Of course, I have to thank those folks, but the other people I have to thank, besides the speakers, and that will come later, but I have to thank you, because there's no point in the Guild existing if people don't come to support. So I thank you for coming out to this event and all of our events, for donating funds, which are extremely valuable and welcome, and for being fellow artists. I know we have several people who were featured readers in our past events. We thank you. Since this is a fundraiser, I have to acknowledge that, you all have done an excellent job and have gotten us to almost 80% of our very ambitious goal of fundraising for this event. So thank you. Mike did an excellent job of telling you about some of our past programs, and I just want to tell you about 3 upcoming events, just to give you a taste of what we're up to now. Over our 23 years, we certainly have done a variety of programs and events, but a through line that we've seen in all of our programming is the fact that the Guild Literary Complex exists because we believe that vibrant literature contributes to community and society. So we want to provide that to various neighborhoods, various communities, and various spaces, and we want to do a mix of genres: poetry, short fiction, long fiction, nonfiction, theater, and we do all of that programming to that end. I want to highlight 3 programs that have exciting things coming up. First of all, we have 2 annual contests. Our Prose Awards is always in the fall, but I also want to let you know that we just opened our submissions for the Gwendolyn Brooks Open Mic Award, which is now in its 19th year. I'm very fond of the Gwendolyn Brooks Open Mic Award because it's how I first learned about the Guild, and I'm also fond of it because Ms. Brooks herself started the contest 19 years ago and was handing over the cash prize herself from her checkbook. So the submissions are open. They close May 12th. If you want to get in there and participate, feel free. I like to call it the American Idol of poetry because it is a contest, but it's audience driven. So the audience that night determines who walks away with a check. So it's quite a bit of fun and very tense and exciting. Another program that we have an exciting event coming up is our Applied Words series. And that's our series where we explore how creative writing is being applied in non-literary contexts. Like we just did one that was creative writing and health and fitness in a yoga studio. And coming in June, we're extremely excited because we have a multidisciplinary evening of music, poetry, and discussion on the work of musician, poet, activist, Mr. Gil Scott Heron. And that's going to be happening in Hyde Park, and we are chuffed, is that a word? To be doing that, so check that out in June. And the third program I wanted to highlight is our Poetry Performance Incubator, which was started by our former director, Ms. Ellen Wady, who is here in the house tonight. And the Poetry Performance Incubator is going to be launching a brand new show this coming fall called Unnatural Spaces. And the Poetry Performance Incubator brings poets together and forces them to co-write and co-perform theater. Yeah, right, it sounds a little painful, doesn't it? But we love that dynamic juxtaposition of voices and ideas. We love that. And it's just been an extraordinary program over these many years. And I pointed out to you because all of you, by being here, are now entitled to a free ticket to the opening weekend. 3 shows, one of the 3 shows in our opening weekend in October. So hopefully you saw in your programs the little brown sheet. If you didn't, don't worry. All you need to do is, I will be reaching out to you with a thank you, and I'll remind you of what the steps are to claim your free ticket to opening weekend for Unnatural Spaces in October. So there are lots of other programs we do. They're also listed in your calendar. If you couldn't memorize all that, please take the calendar with you. It covers most of our events for the rest of 2012. Of course, we keep everything updated on our website, which is guildcomplex.org. And of course, you can join our Facebook, Twitter, mailing list, and we'll send the news to you. We just really try to be active and keep it fresh and keep it exciting in the land of literature in Chicago. If any of that sounds interesting to you and worthwhile to you, we hope that you will continue to support us. You've already done something wonderful by coming here tonight. That's a wonderful gesture of support. And I hope it's not the last time you come to a Guild event this year and in future years. We love to see familiar faces. The other way you can help us is to spread the word. We love making new friends. So if you know someone who has never heard of the Guild Literary Complex and you think it's something they should know about, please tell them. That's how we continue to thrive and survive. I thank you for that. If you have a burning desire to do another gesture, please let me know. Please let any of our board members know. We pretty much take any sort of gesture of help and support. So thank you in advance. I think that's enough of my spiel for now because I am really excited to get to the program. You may have been wondering, okay, why did we call it Illuminate? We liked the word because it sounded sexy, first of all, and it was broad enough that by the time we had an event in May, it would still work. But really, it was also about how the Guild is very much committed to shining light on voices that may be overlooked or voices that we think we know, but feel new and fresh in the way that we present them in a performance or a reading. And of course, Illuminate is also very resonant with our 4 speakers who you'll hear tonight because they all, in their own very distinct ways, shed light on the human condition through their work. And so I can't even tell you how excited we are to have these 4 folks on the same podium. Like, when we got the news, we were like, wait, all 4 of them said yes? How is this possible? But we're just so grateful. It's amazing.